Built to Last is brought to you by the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council Labor Management Committee and Armstrong Ceilings. Faster, easier, better. Welcome to Built to Last. I'm Mark Nilsson. We're here at the Apprenticeship and Training Center in St. Louis, Missouri, where the skilled carpenters of tomorrow learn their craft. Built to Last presents stories about the men and women of the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council and the projects they're working on throughout their territory of Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, and eastern Iowa. Most of America's infrastructure has aged beyond its expected lifespan, and replacing it has become a national priority. By neglecting these improvements, we risk the safety of the public and the health of our economy. The Mid-America Carpenters are working on a massive project that will completely modernize one of the nation's largest transportation hubs. Just like a house needs a sturdy frame, a strong nation needs a solid infrastructure. Without skilled labor, roads, bridges, airports, seaports, and more can't successfully be maintained, nor could the economy meet the needs of its ever-growing population.
America's infrastructure is in need of a lot of repair.
And we need to grow. The growth of O'Hare is important, not only for the economy, but the community itself.
So the infrastructure as a whole in our country is continually in a process of being updated to the most current technologies and materials to keep it in a well-maintained state.
Over the next decade, massive infrastructure projects will be taking place across the country. One of the biggest is the ongoing multi-billion-dollar renovation of Chicago's O'Hare Airport, where the Mid-America Carpenters are playing a major role.
Without carpenters, you would not be able to rebuild America.
I currently am part of a joint venture, so we have Turner Passion Aviation Partners working on this overall O'Hare 21 program. The magnitude of the project is enormous, so it requires a lot of construction and construction management to help the program move forward.
We just completed the O'Hare modernization program, which would change the configuration of our airfield. By doing that, we reduced delays by 63%. Now, the other programs that we have, part of O'Hare 21, were the expansion of Terminal 5, a $1.3 billion expansion, adding 10 gates and adding concessions and a beautiful new terminal inside.
The O'Hare 21 plan is easily the biggest renovation to the airport since it opened in 1944. Mid-America Carpenters are working on nearly all phases of the project and will require a steady stream of skilled tradesmen and women well into the 2030s.
Mid-America Carpenters, I know we are trying to get more apprentices in as older ones retire, assuring that all the contractors have the proper amount of carpenters.
Union skilled labor is important because we can't build anything without them. This is a 10-year project. We're talking about 22,000 jobs.
We have a very robust training for all through apprenticeship programs across the board. We are top-notch. We are top-trained. Everyone understands the processes of what we do and different building aspects across the entire spectrum.
Helping to fund the project is $50 million from the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure law that President Biden signed in 2021. O'Hare 21 is just one of the numerous infrastructure projects that Mid-America Carpenters will be working on throughout Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, and eastern Iowa. Recently in St. Louis, an infrastructure expo was held, bringing together contractors, trade unions, and other construction representatives to talk about upcoming projects and opportunities.
This investment in infrastructure is important to the country as a whole because it creates jobs, opportunities, makes roads and bridges safer.
I think it's going to save lives at the end of the day. When you think of traveling over a bridge that's crumbling down or a brand new one, when you think about infrastructure, you're not just spending money, you're actually looking out for the quality of life, looking out that these bridges don't fall.
When there comes to new bridges, roads, you need manpower to do that. And who else better to do it than the carpenters? It not only brings new shiny things, but it also brings new members, new families. We can do a lot with that.
As for the O'Hare 21 project, Mid-America Carpenters are currently building a new parking structure in front of Terminal 5 and an extension to Terminal 3. Eventually, 2 satellite concourses will be spun off Terminals 1 and 2, with the current Terminal 2 being demolished and re-envisioned as the O'Hare Global Terminal.
We will build this new, beautiful O'Hare Global Terminal, which will have another customs area. So when you're flying an international carrier, they could just walk to connect to their other gates, which makes it much easier. You're going to have new concessions. You're going to have an open space area that will make it very passenger friendly, and that's what is important, to continue to give the growth and give the passengers comfort.
So we're building a parking garage. It's a 6-story, 97,000 square foot parking garage with a helix ramp on each end of the building.
For me personally, never would have thought that I would be associated with pretty much a marquee project. That we have a great group of people and I dig it. It's cool.
When you're working next to a taxiway and a 777 drives by you, it's like going to Disneyland when you're a kid. It's amazing.
Armstrong takes pride in making a positive difference in people's lives. With the broadest portfolio in the industry and proven technical performance, contractors can install with confidence. Our ceiling construction expertise, training, and pre-engineered solutions make it seamless to transition from one end of the building to the other. Solutions like Frame-All drywall grid, including simple soffit prefabricated bend and click soffit framing, the faster, easier, better way to build from Armstrong.
Whether it's residential, commercial, industrial, community, or utility-scale solar systems, developers throughout the Midwest are integrating renewable energy systems into a variety of businesses and construction developments, and this demand is growing every day. The Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council are the skilled energy professionals in building and installing sustainable, precision-built structures, adding value at all the stages of construction.
They're able to look for key advantages that we might be able to implement to install them faster and better.
From solar arrays to wind turbine developments, the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council provides a professional, skilled, local workforce to build these renewable energy developments throughout the Midwest, providing the highest quality and safety standards in the industry. Insist on the best in delivering your project needs, on time and within budget.
Welcome back to Built to Last. I'm Mark Nilsson. The economic downturn of 2007 had sweeping effects across the nation. Virtually no industry was left unharmed. Because the basis for this collapse focused on the mortgage industry, construction was hit particularly hard. Relationships between trade unions and real estate developers changed. Today, an effort is in place to revitalize those relationships and gain back an important market segment for the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council.
I love building houses. As soon as I did my first shed in shop class, and I think it was like 9th or 10th grade, I was hooked.
I was a residential carpenter. For a lot of carpenters, it's almost like an identity.
This has always been it for me. I've had opportunities to go inside, do other things. I've always loved residential. I don't think I'd ever do anything else.
When you picture a carpenter, you naturally think of someone pounding nails into wood and framing a house. 20 years ago, that was indeed the case, as Union Carpenters were the leaders of residential construction.
I started as a rep in 2002 when the market was on fire.
Chicago and St. Louis were the two powerhouses in residential.
Probably at 75–80% market share, all the way up to mid-2000s. At any given time, we probably had between 5,000 or 6,000 union carpenters in the residential industry.
But in 2008, that all changed. The housing bubble burst, and the ensuing financial crisis wiped out the residential construction business.
The country went into the Great Recession, as they ended up calling it, and the market was gone. They just weren't building homes.
In 06, we had 580 carpenters. By the middle of 2010, we were down to 9 carpenters. We just kept showing up to work because we didn't know what else to do.
In Chicago, the Mid-America Carpenters' share of the residential market took a big hit. The story was the same in Kansas City, but remarkably, Union Carpenters in St. Louis managed to retain much of their residential work.
We were at about 80% market share with residential home building. The bigger developers that were in business prior to 2008 weathered the storm with us.
Back in Chicago, Mid-America Executive Secretary Treasurer Gary Perinar knew there was an opportunity to claw back some of that lost residential market share, and he launched a plan to do so, called Residential 2.0.
Residential 2.0 is basically our campaign to get back into the residential market share.
It's always been near and dear to our heart to have that residential market, and when Gary became EST, it was one of his focus that what do we got to do to get that market back?
What we're trying to do with the Residential 2.0 is develop more relationships with some of the developers and builders that we have not really reached out to in the last few years.
Without them, we don't have jobs.
Getting them on board and realize we're not adversaries, we both want the same thing. We want you to sell homes, you to sell apartments, you to sell rental units, but at the same token, you succeed, our contractors succeed, and in turn, our people are going to work and they're succeeding also.
No worker is more proud of what they do than a union carpenter. We're not just out here trying to earn a paycheck. We're out here because we love what we do and we're serious about it. We come to work every day ready to set the bar for what construction is supposed to look like.
Safest, on time, the bottom line is we're the best.
We teach quality, so as our apprentices go through the training program, they learn it right the first time.
You know how many times I've had conversations with a superintendent in a non-union job, and he's been like, I would love to have union. It would make my job so much easier than what I have right now.
The carpenters that work for us show up early, they're ready to go to work, and they're gonna have a really productive 8 hours out there. That's really important to the developers. They have closing dates. They need the product to be just right.
We're able to use the best methods to put forth the best product.
People spend their whole life's earnings on these houses, and it's nice to know it's something you can stand behind. You want quality places going into your neighborhood, because in 5 years, if they've fallen apart, it's just gonna bring home values down for everybody.
Everybody that has a house built by a union carpenter has said the same thing. They know what they're doing. They do it quickly and professionally.
We're hopeful that 20 years down the road, a union carpenter is driving down the street in a subdivision and showing their kids, hey, look, we built that house. And even the house that they live in, I built this house.
So the residential industry should choose the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council because of our productivity and our safety and our willingness to bring a project in on time, under budget.
Want a great career? Join the Carpenters Union and be part of the next generation building our communities. With the Carpenters Union Career Connections program, high school students get a head start on the industry's leading curriculum. Learn the latest in construction technology and the many skilled crafts the Carpenters Union represents. Plus, earn as you learn. Receive a nice paycheck, health insurance benefits, and best of all, no college debt. Ask your school district to participate in the Career Connections program and get started on your future.
Unions need a collective voice, just like workers do. We built the Midwest Coalition of Labor to bring unions together to provide valuable benefits beyond the healthcare and retirement that their members already receive. Because we know that with numbers, there is strength. Strength that gives us the purchasing power to negotiate the best supplemental benefits that our members deserve at the lowest cost possible. Because united we bargain, divided we beg. Contact the MCL to see how your union can join our growing coalition.
Welcome back to Built to Last. I'm Mark Nilsson. The Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council is always looking for new projects to apply their skills. These efforts include rebuilding old relationships in markets they previously held. And that's just part of how the carpenters are gaining a foothold in an important segment of the construction trade.
The U.S. is in the midst of an historic housing shortage. Some estimates say the country needs up to 6 million new homes to meet current demands. The Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council is ready for the challenge.
What we're doing as a Carpenters Union is we're out there recruiting members. We're going out to schools, meeting with kids coming right out of high school. We're stripping non-union carpenters.
We have our business reps and organizers that are on the street every day going out to meet with the residential carpenters to show them that they can make a better life belonging to the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council.
We go out and talk to these non-union carpenters. We try to make it a point that we are there as a resource to help.
I just talked to a guy yesterday, a non-union guy, and he goes, I don't want to work till I die. And I said, yeah, if you come in the union, maybe work till you're 60. If you feel good, you want to work a little longer, that's fine. But you can get a heck of a pension in 12, 13 years.
And the sweeps are working. The Mid-America Carpenters have successfully flipped many carpenters, taking the best workers from non-union sites and making the union that much stronger.
10 years ago, I started working for a large non-union company, but non-union work promises are not always kept, so I kept finding myself wasting a lot of years.
They came up to me, and at the time, I didn't know much about the union, so I just was like, no, not really interested right now, but I listened to everything he had to say multiple days in a row, and so the information just started making more and more sense.
The pay is better than the non-union pay is. It's something that will put a roof over their family's head. It'll provide for saving for college, retirement. It's a great benefits package.
I got a wife and a kid, another kid on the way, and I needed insurance because a lot of non-union companies don't provide insurance.
We have a new program coming out that non-union carpenters in the residential field are going to receive full coverage. Day one, after you come work for a union contractor, you get full benefits. Sometimes they think it's too good to be true, but more and more are coming in and they're seeing and they're telling their buddies, yeah, it is true.
We're always trained on new ways to do the job. When those ways come about, we're always looking for the next best thing. I honestly thought that I was a decent framer, and then once I came here, I realized that I wasn't that good of a framer, and I mean, everybody kind of teaches you how to do things the right way.
Our training program is second to none. We not only offer the apprenticeship training to the brand new apprentices coming into the program, but we also offer journeyman upgrade training, which is free to our members.
Here, we don't get pulled from the job. We do it all the way until we're done. If that company doesn't need you anymore, you can call the hall, and the hall will provide you with whatever job you seem ready to do.
To have an organization behind you that's always looking out for you like that really sets us apart from the competition.
Another key to the revival is the price. While union labor might cost slightly more, the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council is closing the gap and willing to do what it takes to be competitive in the residential market.
A lot of these developers have thought that, well, the carpenters will come in, they're not even going to talk to us unless they can get everything to be 100% union. And it's just not the case. We live in the real world right now that, we're willing to work with you guys, whatever we got to do.
Been very receptive. They're like, we're not anti-union, but they've told us a lot of times it comes down to the finances. He said, if you can get your guys to where they're a little bit closer to our bottom line, he says, we would prefer union all the time.
We're getting all these projects turned around, and these developers that had slammed the doors in the past, and now they're opening their doors and say, you know what, we can work as business partners and we can get this job done, and they're very happy.
We've seen an increase in residential opportunities. It's important to Denkin Roach. It's a big part of our history, a big part of our identity.
With the non-union carpenters joining the union, bigger is better. We want every carpenter under our tent. Many, many years ago, the adage was it was union versus non-union. We want to represent all carpenters.
Everyone in the union has made up their mind. They're professional carpenters. This is what they're doing. This is their trade.
I haven't been on a job site with this many quality guys, right, honestly.
I was raised, I'm a third generation union carpenter. I can go to bed every night knowing that I'm representing men and women to make a great living.
This isn't a job. It's a career.
Trade up. Trade up. Right here.
Right now. Working for a non-union contractor, I never got a pay raise. Now I get a raise every year working as a union carpenter.
No matter how many kids you have, you're fully covered.
Every hour you work, money's going into your retirement, your annuity. For non-union, they don't have a school program, classes you can take.
You can take the commercial aspect of it, or you can go the residential.
Trade up.
Trade up.
Trade up. Right here.
Right now.
Whether it's residential, commercial, industrial, community, or utility-scale solar systems, developers throughout the Midwest are integrating renewable energy systems into a variety of businesses and construction developments, and this demand is growing every day. The Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council are the skilled energy professionals in building and installing sustainable, precision-built structures, adding value at all the stages of construction.
They're able to look for key advantages that we might be able to implement to install them faster and better.
From solar arrays to wind turbine developments, the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council provides a professional, skilled, local workforce to build these renewable energy developments throughout the Midwest, providing the highest quality and safety standards in the industry. Insist on the best in delivering your project needs, on time and within budget.
Welcome back to Built to Last. I'm Mark Nilsson. Some people have a job, others have a career. For one lucky woman, the Mid-America Carpenters showed her the difference.
I went from dread to going into work to being pretty excited into coming to work. I hold my head a little higher these days, I'll say that.
From fast food to Mid-America Carpenter, a chance encounter led Roxanne Cole to a successful career, brighter future, and a happy life.
I got the job at the fast food restaurant through a mutual friend. I'm one of those people, I take a lot of pride in my work.
She is very positive, upbeat, and everything. And I noticed she really expected other people to do their job well. And she seemed to have a really good work ethic.
Tim was a customer that would come into the restaurant, and he came in enough to where I was starting to memorize how he liked his coffee.
I was working in Grand City Steel, and I would stop halfway in Columbia, Illinois, and pick up a sandwich and get a drink, and then go on up to go to work.
And then he came in one morning, and I seen him coming. It was a rough morning. The store in general was a mess. And my drive-through manager, I heard an obscenity come from her. And I'm like, hey, what's going on over there? And she said, I just handed out the wrong order.
And one day I was just reaching for the door, and it flew open, and she came running out with a bag of stuff.
And I turned around and I looked at Tim and I said, I will be right back. And I ran out the store, ran to the red light, flagged the guy down. I handed him the correct order and then ran back in.
And she said I had to make sure that they got the right food. Her pride in her work ethic to do what needs to be done in a professional way. Even if she had to run a city block, I don't know if I'd run a city block for that, but she did.
That strong work ethic and willingness to go the extra mile is exactly what the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council looks for in their apprentices.
Apprenticeship programs in the construction industry deliver upward economic mobility. Construction workers on the union side earn solid middle-class wages.
I asked her, I said, you ever think about being a carpenter apprentice? It's really good money, it's good benefit, you got free training. I said, I think you'd be good at it.
And he said, you just work too hard for all this. He said, you really need to give some thought to what I've been telling you and check this place out.
And I gave her the card for the school here, and she came over and applied.
With her paperwork filled out, she was on her way to a new career as a union carpenter. Her first stop was the apprenticeship program at the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Training Center.
Registered apprenticeship programs are training programs in which participants get the opportunity to earn while they learn. In these programs, tuition costs are covered by employers and their unions.
The first company that I called was CIC. I was hired on the spot. I was treated very well. My experience was I would get a few head turns, but I think the longer that I'm in it, you're seeing more women out in the field.
That drive for diversity in their workforce has been a hallmark of the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council.
Everybody needs to have a trade or a profession. We're all about helping people become skilled craftsmen, to do good work, to take pride in their work.
I'm going in this big, huge building, and I'm gonna go work in there with my tools. I was pretty excited. I was so happy when I got in there and realized there's another girl in here. I was like, yes. We had 2 female laborers and also another female carpenter with that company. So that helped me out a lot.
The great thing about the construction field now, it doesn't matter your background, your ethnic background, whatever. She's just a dynamite worker and a great union member. She's what unions should be all about.
A fulfilling career with the Mid-America Carpenters has transformed Roxanne's life from struggling in the fast food industry to building her dreams with a new home and fiance Mark.
Back then, it was kind of living paycheck to paycheck, so saving wasn't an option, really. You just kind of worked to get by. So the thought of being able to purchase my own home was just something that wasn't in the picture at the time. We're gonna have a garden here, a chicken coop over in that corner. It just kind of set forth the motion of the rest of my happily ever after, because I got the career that I needed, making the money that I needed to put into savings to build credit, to buy a new car, to buy a new home, met the love of my life. Store these in the pantry for now. We actually met on the job working for CIC.
Oh, it's amazing. It's an awesome story. It's just been quite the road we traveled on, and it's worked out so amazing, and it just made our life.
She has done this program proud. She's done the trade proud. And she set forth a great example for people to come in and do it. It makes me really proud.
I have a job that I enjoy now. It's every day's an adventure. I met my future husband on this job. I have money in my savings account. I'm looking forward to planning a few trips this year and have the money to do so. I am just a lot less stressed and a lot more happy.
That's all for this episode of Built to Last. Be sure to follow us at Built to Last TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Mark Nilsson. We'll see you next time.